Hi, I'm Wendy Spreenberg. I'm the president and founder of Yes, Your Exceptional Space, where we create experience, not just space. And we're here this morning with Brad Riemann with Unispace, and we're here today to talk a little bit more about the return to office. So Brad, what are you seeing in terms of the return to office affecting space and office design?
It's definitely an open-ended question. I think depending on the firm, depending on the type of business, it really varies. I know that's where it brings our strategy team a lot to really elaborate that, because for example, I know law firms are coming a lot back into the office a lot, and they're hitting close to 60-80% occupancy. Meanwhile, I think on average it's around 45 to 50 in Chicago. So really it just varies. The one thing we are seeing a lot more of is our proprietary things called Propeller, where basically it's causing a multi-use space. So trying to encourage definitely the younger generation to come back into the office. So whether it's through bars or ping pong tables and the etcetera and those type of things, and our designers can stress more those aspects. But then of course having more flexible, having the meeting spaces, and having these type of things. But really the office space as a general, I think, is just changing. It's no longer big open office with open floor plan and just throw up a bunch of furniture. Now it's to the point where there's a lot more getting things to come back in and causing people to be interactive, whether that's lunches and things like that, or just, but ultimately it depends on the business and depends on the model.
It sounds like it's becoming more intentional in design, because open plan, to some degree, nobody really liked it.
Yeah.
But it had its purpose, right? And so now it's more intentional with more purpose-built spaces, not just for community and collaboration, but also focused work and even content studios. Is that something that you're finding that's true?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I just had a thing last week, and a friend colleague of mine was basically like, can we get rid of the open office? and a part of me from the design background is an open office is a little bit lazy. It's just hey, we'll just throw this furniture in there, and it's very it's not real innovative solutions, but it's now about thinking about how we can delineate that space and thinking about how we can do it better. And I mean, it was kind of going that way already pre-pandemic, and now it's just definitely been fast-tracked, especially at a competitive job market and things like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you finding that you're designing differently now that there are multiple generations? And I mean, for the first time, 5 generations in the office setting? Is that making any difference?
Yeah, definitely. And these are a lot of the conversations I think our strategy team has a lot with people. It's all right, and it's including HR and including all these people in the conversation, because small companies, yes, I think so, because you're trying to get that Gen Zer who's never worked in the office to be the exposure and pick up those things that you don't pick up from just sitting on Zoom calls that day. But at the same time, though, a lot of times the baby boomer who's looking to retire, they have the routine where they're coming in 50 hours a week and they want to be in there. So it's trying to accommodate all these people, and really that's really the challenge, is figuring out what your square footages are, how that breaks down for spaces, and then what works for you, and ultimately how to make everyone happy and get along with it, and also increase productivity, which I think the one thing is, back to what I originally said as well, is if you're coding all day, you're probably fine working remote 80 hours a week. But if you're an attorney, if you're an architect, if you're somebody who needs that cross collaboration, you need to be back in the office more, because otherwise it's hard to develop career-wise a lot of those soft skills that are not directly part of your day-to-day job.
And I think for creativity, it's great to work off of other minds, right? In order to get inspiration and somebody else's point of view as well. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it. I think just personally, I like just being around. The last few roles I've had boss or even boss's boss around, and I like just hearing those things, knowing what's going on with the organization, picking up things that are going on elsewhere. But you don't get those when you're away remote wise. And I think so often we're oh yeah, I've been here for 3 months. Oh, I haven't met you. But it's because you don't have those impromptu meetups around the kitchen or water cooler, so to say, that you got before, definitely.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, Brad, how can people reach you if they want to get in touch with you at Unispace?
Well, definitely look me up on LinkedIn, Brad Riemann, BradRiemann. That's probably the easiest way to reach out to me professionally. Obviously, check out unispace.com. We got a lot of strong stuff. Our marketing team is putting in a lot of information and research and stuff about what the future of work looks like and industry specific and how things are going. But definitely reach out if you're trying to figure out what to do with that workplace.
Thank you so much, Brad.
Thank you, Wendy.